You watch John Wick and wonder, how does Keanu Reeves make being an assassin look so realistic? Well, here's the thing, it's not movie magic. Keanu literally transformed himself into a real-life version of John Wick. Talking of hours of intense, no-nonsense training just so he could pull off those insane fight scenes and stunts himself. Yeah, no stunt doubles here. Here in this video we are talking about how Keanu Reeves turned himself into the ultimate assassin through 6 hardcore training regimes. Trust me, these aren't your average gym sessions. From tactical shooting to hand-to-hand combat that would put most professionals to shame, Keanu went all in. Why? So every punch, every kick, every gunfight felt real on screen. So, if you're interested in knowing what makes the difference between Keanu and John Wick, then hang on. This is because we are about to deconstruct the 6 grueling training programs that may transform him into a deadly machine. But before that, make sure you've subscribed to our channel. Regime number 1. Tactical shooting 3-gun training. Let's get rolling with arguably the most iconic aspect of John Wick, his gun work. In the movie, Wick is a master of firearms, having spent his time jumping effortlessly from one gun to the next. But Keanu didn't just learn how to convincingly appear as if he knew what he was doing, he actually trained like a professional marksman. He went through a 3-gun training that not many people know of. But what is 3-gun training? It's a form of competition shooting where mastery is in mastering 3 kinds of firearms: pistol, rifle, and shotgun. And the twist is that it's not only how to shoot but also at a speedy pace with maximum accuracy while switching from one to another with minimal draw or transition. Keanu was trained by one of the world's greatest shooters, Taran Butler. He spent hours every day out on the range with Taran Butler. Some really great behind-the-scenes footage exists of Keanu rehearsing on Butler's range, and he went crazy how quickly he picked it up. He could pop at targets, reload firearms, and switch between guns with such speed and acuity that Butler, for all his legendary shooting, thought Keanu had an easy shot at competing in a real 3-gun match. When you see those shootout sequences in John Wick, that's entirely Keanu. His movements are crisp, fluid, and very efficient, just like what a real hitman would require being. And it's not about how cool he looks. What can be said is that the tactical training he got gives the film authenticity most action flicks can't afford. Regime number 2, martial arts, Jiu-Jitsu and Judo. Now that we are getting to the pure essence of John Wick's fight style, let's dissect martial arts. Keanu did not trifle over a few moves. He trained in different disciplines and learned lots of things that even a real fighter would wish he knew. There are 2 major martial arts Keanu learned in John Wick: Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo. Let's break this up a bit. BJJ stands for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all about grappling, submissions, and controlling your opponent. If you see John Wick taking down some enemies and locking people into submission holds, that is some BJJ at work. It is all about leverage and technique, especially in close combat. Keanu was trained seriously with the Machado Brothers, absolute legends in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world. He did chokes, arm locks, and takedowns, plus how to move smoothly between them, as if he has been doing it for years. Naturally, Judo is more into the throws and takedowns. In films, you would have certainly seen how Wick turns his opponent's momentum into his own to toss them effortlessly onto the floor with just a minimal movement. That's classic Judo. Keanu trained in Judo to give the fight scenes a realistic and efficient feel, where every movement is direct, purposeful, and deadly. But what is truly impressive here is how these styles just merged together in John Wick. Instead of fancy big kicks and elaborate punches, Wick's style is based on a reality principle. The fights are raw and brutal due to them being techniques that really are used in real-life combat situations. In martial arts like Jiu-Jitsu and Judo, what is developed as a fighting style is all about being efficient. Every action Keanu takes on screen in the fight scenes must be believable for him, because he prepared like someone who would be truly fighting for survival. It is quick, brutal, and what makes John Wick such a fearsome assassin. Regime number 3, precise driving. How about precision driving, the unsung hero of action movies? The John Wick movies are as much about hand-to-hand combat and gunfights as they are serious car chase scenes, and guess what? Keanu Reeves wasn't sitting in the passenger seat for those stunts. Keanu trained in precision driving, and he made sure that he could accomplish those high-speed car chases on his own. And this wasn't about learning how to drive fast, this was all about control. Precision driving is mastering techniques like drifting, tight cornering, controlled skid. You may have seen it in the movies Wick speeding through a narrow street, making sharp turns, even using his car as a weapon. Keanu was taught by pro stunt drivers on how to do this stuff safely and effectively. He practiced high-speed turns, reverse 180s, and drifting through tight spaces. I have footage of him practicing in real time. No need for CGI or green screens. Not to mention, for any self-respecting action film, having the real Keanu behind the wheel for some of those bang and crash car chases adds an entirely new dimension to what is happening here. When you are watching John Wick pull off those slick driving maneuvers, You are not just watching a car chase, you are watching a well-trained assassin who could handle anything, even behind the wheel. It adds up to the overall immersion and keeps the action grounded in reality. Regime number 4, strength and conditioning. Of course, this would not have been possible without Keanu in top physical condition. Strength and conditioning training was especially provided for him to ensure stamina, power, and flexibility for long, intense action scenes without getting tired or injured. Keanu's workout is functional strength. That means he wasn't lifting heavy weights to build mass, but instead was working toward the ability to move quickly, powerfully, and in control. So he did exercises such as kettlebell swings, deadlifts, and bodyweight movements that reflect movements he would be doing during fight scenes. The actual focus, though, was on core strength and mobility. Keanu needs to be strong enough for the intense throws and takedowns, but flexible enough to take in those quick transitions between moves. And of course, stamina. It takes hours to shoot a fight scene, and Keanu had to sustain his performance level over extended periods. Without functional fitness, that would wear him out. Functional fitness allows Keanu to get up and do those exhausting fight choreographed sequences repeatedly and repetitively, sometimes filming for hours without losing power or accuracy. That's what lets him bring this relentless energy to John Wick and makes the character nearly unstoppable. Regime number 5, fight choreography. Now, let's talk to the choreography itself. One of the things that make fight scenes in John Wick very unique is that they feel like a brutal dance, a deadly ballet of fists, knives, and gunfire. And this choreography was not just something Keanu picked up on the fly. He spent sometimes weeks, months learning every single move before shooting began. He worked hand in hand with Jonathan Uspio, the stunt coordinator on the film, trying to get every beat of every fight as perfect as possible. Here, however, choreography isn't just about looking good, it is about efficiency. This structured type of fight needed to tell how quickly John Wick can eliminate enemies, and every one of those punches, every one of those throws, every gunshot has a point. It was about learning how to string the whole thing together like it makes sense. Footage behind the scenes shows Keanu rehearsing these sequences over and over again until they are second nature. And because he is trained in multiple martial arts, he brings a level of authenticity to these scenes that few actors can match. It is actually what sells John Wick as an effective, lethal, highly trained assassin. These fights feel so real because they are based on real techniques and real skills that Keanu worked very hard on mastering. And the fruit of this labor? Some of the most memorable action sequences ever shot within modern cinema. And there you go, 5 core training programs that made Keanu Reeves a perfect assassin for John Wick. From tactical shooting to mastering all sorts of arts, like in martial arts and precision driving, the movie is very distinctive because of Keanu Reeves' commitment to his work. So next time you sit down to watch John Wick, just remember, what you're seeing isn't just movie magic. It's the result of months of hard work, intense training, and a commitment to making every fight, every chase, and every moment feel as real as possible. Keanu didn't just act like John Wick, he became him. Let us know in the comments which part of Keanu's training impressed you the most. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes peeks at how your favorite actors prepare for iconic roles. Thanks for watching.